Welcome everybody! We're here with a very early day of VCS action here. Because of the early start, I do have my good friend Vinny filling in very generously for Yulwei, as it is a little bit too early for Yulwei, needed his beauty sleep. But just to explain very quickly, Vietnam is doing what I think most other places have done at this point and sort of limiting gatherings from today, but it comes into place at a certain time. So they've moved the start time back to try and get things done before the quarantine cut off. We're not sure what that means going forward, but as soon as we know, our Twitter will inform you. But regardless, let's get to the action of today. We have FTV starting us off against Cerberus. But first off, how are you, Vinny?
Yeah, not too bad. All things considered, a bit of a cold, so over the weekend, so I had to sort of shut myself away just in case. It's fine though.
Good. That's good to hear.
It's fine.
You mentioned you had a bit of a cold, and I was mildly worried about you, but I'm glad to hear that it was just a cold, as I just realised I need to change one audio thing, or you're going to be deafening people. There we go. That should handle it. It's not your fault. It's on my end. This is a little bit of a hodgepodge setup. We did find out, not due to any fault of anyone, really. There's obviously a very difficult situation to navigate for everyone with the coronavirus. So we did find out fairly late in the game, but we've managed to get something for you at the very least. And I mean, this cast is great with Vinny, just as it is with Yulwei. But Cerberus, this is a must-win game for playoffs. Losing to FTV would be disastrous for their playoff run.
Yeah, they stumbled a bit in recent weeks, losing to VGA, to Adonis, and that really puts a dampener on your late season rush into playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you're at that bottom end, you're still not completely out. You're still part of this three-way tie, but that means you cannot afford to drop the games to the teams below you.
Yeah, see, that's the big thing, is we have the three competitors for fourth spot. We have Cerberus, DVL, and EVOS, and they all still play each other. Yeah. So those head-to-heads are what is really going to decide it. But if you're dropping games to VGA, though to be fair, the new VGA lineup, I said it before, if they had had that lineup from the start, they'd be competing for playoffs. 100%.
It'd be a lot better.
That is actually a good team. So VGA, you can't sleep on them anymore. But if you drop a game to FTV, it just means that you go into those head-to-heads with no wiggle room. You have no room to make mistakes, and that's super pressure. And you probably also you'll probably end up with not everything in your control. Like, you'll need other results to go your way, which is never fun. So we definitely want to see Cerberus lock this one up. I have a question for you. Me and Yulwei have talked about it, but obviously you are not Yulwei. When you have Cerberus, this is an important series. They do need to win it. Do you think it's better to play standard and just smash FTV, right? Because if you play your standard game, you should blast them. Or should you experiment?
I think playing standard minimize the time on the games you have to win for the upset potential. Obviously, you don't want to. You want to just minimize your chances of losing at all times. But since you have no wiggle room, you can't just mess around and play weird things. Start playing. Oh, I'm gonna play Caitlyn jungle.
I mean, I don't necessarily mean. I don't mean meme. I mean, like,
no, obviously
experiment.
Not meme.
Like, see, maybe we can play.
I know what you mean. It's just that's just what popped into my head.
No, I agree. I come down on agreeing on you, with you, I should say.
Yeah.
I think you want to. I think the other factor is momentum. if you just smash FTV here, like Cerberus should be able to. They should just be able to blow FTV out of the water and have 2 not close games. Might not be the most fun to watch, but I think it's very good because that lets them go into the much closer matches with EVOS and DBL riding high.
And we need to see Cerberus make the same sort of statement they did when they beat Team Secret.
Yeah, that was huge.
Right? If Cerberus, because they were able to get that upset, it gives them that extra. It allows for that loss to Adonis, and yeah, they only really have to play the teams they're tied for.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have Gum. They don't have Flash.
Oh, they do have Flash.
Well, it's not going to decide playoffs, is it?
Yeah, it's not gonna decide, but yeah, Cerberus is definitely hunting for that, for those wins.
As we do head into Champion Select, and FTV, I still don't think this is their best 5 players. I don't know.
Where's Rika?
Exactly. I don't know if you caught last night's games.
No.
They started out with this lineup, with Victory listed as the top laner, but I think it's very flexible, Froggy and him playing the solo lanes.
Yeah.
And then the second, and Froggy they lost the first game, but Froggy looked really good on Ornn. He nearly solo won them a bunch of team fights. And then game 2, they subbed Rika in for Froggy and left Victory in. Victory, I mean, I'm not going to pull the punch, competing for the worst player in the league at the moment. I'm not sure what the management's doing. And I don't want to dwell on this for too long because we will talk about picks when they start coming in. But something I've said a few times is FTV, your season's done, right? You're not getting out of relegations. You're going to the relegation tournament. You need to find your best 5 players so that you can get back into the VCS. And if this is the call they've made of their best 5, I think it's just wrong.
Yeah, Rika hasn't, but he's at least shown potential to carry games occasionally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Victory hasn't really shown anything in what I've seen.
Don't worry, that's what we've seen.
Isn't every game.
We've seen that as well.
But, yeah.
And this is an initial mistake on the patch, I think. I think Aphelios for Set is a very good trade for Cerberus. Set is still strong, but nowhere near as strong.
Yes. A lot of the top lane power picks have really taken a hit. Which is why we see weird things like Janna and Callista making their way up top. We could still see that. Set's been played in all 5 roles so far. Obviously, with the nerfs, he's probably not going to go anywhere. Maybe flex jungle. I think
the jungle flex is still fun.
He'd be probably locked in their 3 carry positions right here if they go for Syndra.
Yep. I
flex
certainly
exists,
agree. I would hate to see Victory on Callista. I love the Callista solo lane pick, but
would you hate to see Froggy on Callista?
It would be better. But I don't think it's really in his wheelhouse. Froggy plays some weird stuff, but I'm not 100% sure if he plays the solo lane ADCs. As on the other side, Cerberus, the Aphelios pick, still very strong on this patch. Not busted, but strong. Elise is probably the highest contested jungler in the VCS. So getting that one is very good for Zhu Hao.
And, I mean, we're always going to bring it back. That one game FTV did take from GAM was from an immaculate performance from a Set Callista bot lane out of FTV. So Set could always find his way into... back then he was Tiger, but he played it, and he played it really well.
That he did.
They played that.
This is Tiger, by the way.
Very
We were informed that One Ground is Tiger. He just changed his name. I don't know. There is a trend of VCS players downgrading their names. Tiger was a good name.
Yeah.
Hero was a good name. Why'd you go and change him? I don't understand. As the jungle bans from Cerberus, removing 2 very strong junglers. Makes sense to get those bans out. FTV banning Mordekaiser seems like a mistake to me because Set beats Mordekaiser.
And banning Ornn.
I think that's okay.
So that's a good ban. Ornn wasn't touched too much. Just means the Aatrox is going to be the pickup.
I think that was super.
And Cerberus, from what I've seen across PCS, VCS, and LPL, we're probably going to. Cerberus is the last pick their support here. Obviously, they can't just put Nautilus support, but I've seen more Nautilus mid than I have support recently.
That's interesting. We saw it twice last night. I'd still say it's a support pick. I definitely think I'll go bot lane, but it could be flexed. And being picked.
For
that's jungle, yeah. That's old.
I don't see where else it would go. Unless we're seeing some weird flex stuff happening. And that's a solo lane.
Okay.
Is it?
That's a set support. Top lane Kalista, mid lane Kalista, mid lane Syndra. Kalista can't play 2 lanes.
Unless we're pulling out the support MF for no reason.
I doubt it. I think it's set.
I doubt that.
Tiger, as you said before,
looks to be set support.
You very correctly identified set support got played once. It was by Tiger, now 1 ground, and he went huge. They beat Gum in 1 map. So it kind of makes sense. I'm a little worried about this Kalista pick, though.
Yeah, so am I. And also seeing the lock-in for the... right. They weren't just the swaps to come through. But this Leona pick should be pretty solid into set as a support.
I think you can just stop him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that was someone looking for a cat.
I can't blame them. I like cats. I look for cats. But this is a very interesting team comp for FTV. It's very all in. If it doesn't work, it's going to look really, really bad.
Yeah, I'm really shocked this is what they decided to go for.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so... And I don't think Set, and I liked the Set Kalista, but Set as a support on his own sort lacks that real...
How do they catch anyone?
That he has. Yeah, I mean, with the Kalista ult, you can throw him in and then bring someone back with the Set. Here you're just sort of hanging around. You don't have the way to get in. Leona especially can just stop you if you try and run at them.
Yeah.
And not to mention the slows from Aphelios.
Yeah, exactly. It seems like a very rough bot lane. The one sort of saving grace here is that MF is quite safe on her own. So we could see Set just roam. But I'm not sure if that's even particularly powerful. Because the only playmaking tool he has is Flash Phase Breaker, which, to be fair, is quite strong. But if once he's done it once, well, that's it. You've used your flash. You're not getting onto anyone with just running at them.
You can only use it once every 5 minutes.
Oh, God, Victory. Completely caught out. Thank God he had the flash. Was, to be fair, don't know, he was never really able to predict that Ron OP was going to be caught in that bush. That was actually pretty smart, thinking that Victory would look for early damage.
Yeah, Ron OP being up topside early is definitely not the standard situation. So I can't blame him too much, but yeah, just unfortunate. That's going to make his lane pretty susceptible to ganks from Juhao. So Kuroko's either going to have to babysit, or Victory's just not going to be able to get that early pressure you need for this Callista top to really work.
Exactly. It's not good. I think Callista with her flash is pretty much ungankable. She will pretty much always be able to flash the initial CC and then hop away. But without the flash, that cocoon will shut her down very easily.
I mean, if Victory has his Q up, he can maybe dodge with the Q hop.
It's very hard, particularly if it's a flash cocoon.
It's not a big leap before you have tier 2 boots.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's rough.
The one thing here is I'm not sure, even with the flash advantage, if this is the lane that Zhu Hao wants to focus on. Maybe it is because, I mean, where else do you focus? You can't really gank for a Nautilus. He's got all the CC, but you're a bit damage lacking early. They could look for a bot lane dive, very risky into set. So maybe he ends up top lane just because there's nowhere else to go.
I disagree with that assessment that you don't have the damage early. Tanks like Nautilus have extremely high base damage.
You're not wrong, actually.
And Zhu Hao being what I guess amounts to an assassin also has that really high base damage. So
here we are in the top lane. LL already has a lot of spears. This may end up being a 1-for-1. No, this flash cocoon, make sure it doesn't. And first blood goes over to Cerberus. Zhu Hao in the right place at the right time.
And yeah, as we saw, you're playing a ranged champion. You need to push up. You want to push up. You want to apply as much pressure as you can. And Zhu Hao is just able to punish that early flash. And with the TP back, oh no, Zhu Hao spotted on the Scryer's Bloom. So Victory's probably not going to suffer the TP die again. But
the NA solo queue. The epic game.
But whenever I try to play a carry top lane,
that's why I'm just playing so many tanks at the moment.
Yeah.
But Zhu Hao is there to fend off the revenge dive by Kuriko. So Cerberus get out of this play very cleanly. Zhu Hao is still here. Doesn't have flash this time, but Victory does not read it, and he's just going to go down. This is a solo kill. Like, LL could have kept going there. Might have gotten kited, so Zhu Hao comes in just to make very sure. But Victory, we said that, I said I didn't want to see Victory play Callista.
Yeah, no. Again, just playing up, no respect for the Elise. Maybe thought Elise is low on mana, that it's not going to be an issue, but LL can just do the damage. And handing it off to Zhu Hao means you can spread you get to spread the advantage across the map, plus you get, more gold than just a solo kill.
Yeah.
So, all in all, worth.
I also don't necessarily think, as we have one Ground a bit caught out, he is set, so that shield will come in, so he's fine. The Ignite was used, though. I think part of the... I think Zhu Hao came in to get the kill, mostly just to make sure that Callista didn't do Callista thing. But
yeah,
I also don't necessarily think
always so happens.
You can give Aatrox a kill. Realistically, he still loses this lane. Like, it doesn't really matter who's playing which champion. Froggy is in a lot of trouble. Ron! He missed the E on a CC target.
Ooh.
That's unforgivable. He flashed as well.
I think that small flash from Froggy just was enough to get him out of the path of what Ron OP wanted to do. But you don't need to throw your Zenith Blade immediately if you know there's going to be that small gap.
Yeah, exactly.
Just walk up and try and follow with a flash Q, and then use your E. You probably get that, but either way, that pressure is going to lack of pressure that you use trying to get mid lane gives FTV the time to get that dragon. And And we're going to see top lane. Okay, nothing happens from it.
The point I was trying to make is that giving Aatrox gold isn't necessarily that impactful because he's not going to get to a point where he can 1v1 Kalista for a very long time. Realistically, the way you deal with this Kalista top is you get it to the point where it's not solo taking towers, and then you just force 5v5s. You just say, Kalista, if you don't come to the fight, we're just going to kill your team over and over again, and you actually will lose. And then if that Kalista solo lane, particularly if she builds Sanguine Blade, which most of them do, if she goes to teamfight, she's useless.
Yeah, and I understand the Kindle gem choice, but I think LL might have been better off just hard rushing that Bramble Vest, especially
because he's going to go for this outplay, but Victory in the end uses a flash traded for an ult. Aatrox is doing much better than he should in this lane.
Yeah, I think Victory easily could have turned that into a kill, but I think assumed that Zhuhao was topside with the aggression coming out of LL.
Yeah.
So
probably a good assumption.
Probably just a bit of a mind game going on, and Victory's already down 0-2, doesn't want to get put down again.
Yeah.
But yeah. Knowing with full oversight, we know turn that into a kill.
Yeah, absolutely. As Rift Herald now being started up by FTV, they want to come out on the map and get all the early neutral objectives, which, I mean, it's a good start. They're 600 goals behind despite the 2 kills. So they're doing all right, predominantly because they do have a pretty strong top lane lead. But with Cerberus trading, see, now this is something that Yulwei talks about all the time. So I'm going to crib his ideas. Yes, crescendum. We both talk about that. Is that if you use the Rift Herald and you just get plates, but it's traded on the other side of the map for the same amount of plates, it's not very good. They should get the tower here, though, so it's okay this time.
Yeah. Usually it does let you sort of cheat tempo. So if you're behind and you do this play, it's a good one because you get an equal exchange of gold and you sort of get to extend your tempo a little bit. So you take those plates essentially a lot faster than the other side. And you get to rotate around the map.
Here's the catch, though. The Kalista once again going down. It turns out Elise is the superior denizen of the Shadow Isles. Good. One ground cannot find a way out.
Oof, yeah. All right. The interrupt there. And Victory and One Ground just hung around a bit too long after that tower dropped. Police and Kuriko both backed off and just left them pushed up without a flash in Victory's case, and when you're not actually paired to that set as Kalista, who is understandably paired to the jungler, you're not winning that 2v2 at all.
No. Especially One Ground doesn't have the suplex. He doesn't do anything this fight. He face breakers, punches once, and then walks away. That was barely even a 2v2.
And he's not even 6 yet, so he can't really impact at all. The best thing he did there was deny Yado the assist.
Yeah.
And that's rough.
Yeah,
this Elise Aatrox combo is very far ahead right now.
One thing,
they have all 4 kills.
One little light, a bit of a glow stick on a very dark night, is that Echo has a pretty good farm lead in the jungle. He's 20 CS up. Not ahead, but could be further behind.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what happens when Kuriko's made 0 impact in this game. He's taken a couple of objectives, but
and it's another catch.
Impacted the lanes at all.
And Froggy will be joining on the board with a death to his name. As here comes a potential play. Bullet Time doing a lot of damage onto Artemis there. Pretty smart to get the big chunk on Mr. Aphelios. He doesn't have red gun, so might not be able to heal up, but this should still be the easy tower. Kuriko, you actually can't fight Yado here. Another hook lands the Nautilus ult as well. He'll get that first one with the help of LL. Rono P goes down on the other side. Set got the big punch, but then went to the grave right after. It's a little bit scrappy here for Cerberus. I don't think they needed to lose 2. But 2 for 4 is still a trade that they'll happily take.
Yeah, and that's really a delayed ace with that pick onto Froggy earlier. They get the tower as well, and they're going to convert it into the dragon.
Yep.
And you're slightly ahead of me. So
resync. I'll pause at 12:25 because there's nothing really happening. Yeah. Sorry, everybody. This is the reality of bootleg casting. Oh, shite. Can you tell me when you're at it?
23, 24, 25.
We should be back in sync now. Again, we always apologize when we have to do this. It is part of bootleg casting, but run us through this replay.
And so we see Kuriko gets a little bit antsy and tries to go onto Yado, who's split off, but LL's able to just carry through the tower, and in the end, it's essentially a 3v, essentially a 2v3 under the tower, as and it ends up really well played from one round. He's able to get a lot out of it.
The cocoon won't land, but the chain will. And Juhao says, "Oh, LL, you baked me dinner. I'll feed off that." And he gets the kill that maybe LL deserved.
Juhao's kind of just walking around going, "Yep, that's mine. Secure that. Yep, I did all this work."
I mean, I feel a bit weird because I like avoiding controversy, but live streaming an entire team negative gaming is a bit controversial.
Okay, but it's only negative gaming in the sense that they decided to feel victory.
Yeah. God, please bring in Rika and keep Froggy. Suplex used. One crowd actually starting this off really well. This should be the free kill. LL goes down. It's a shutdown. It's a start. They've got the foot on the mountain.
It's absolutely a start, and it goes onto, and it lands onto Echo, which is really nice and can maybe get him to a point where he can delete Artemis faster. But honestly, one ground, apart from that misstep on the top lane where it was level 5 and couldn't do anything, he played the dive in the bot lane pretty well, considering how far down he was, managing to pick up a kill. And then right there, he manages to keep LL in a position where FTV is able to collapse on him.
Yeah, absolutely. So get a tower as well, traded for the second Rift Herald. So that's actually a very even trade. Plus they got the kill. They're very happy. Ooh, Yado playing it bold, goes under tower, knows that Aftershock makes him a big tanky boy. The power's been unleashed, so he has to flash. A little bit aggressive. Froggy, you've got to use an orb when you use your E.
Yeah. It happens. It happens. But Froggy able to turn that around, and Yado has to flash because if the audio.
Oh, LL. I don't know if they want to go under that tower.
No, they've decided against it. But oh no again.
Oh, victory. A little bit caught. Ooh, there is the flash. Well done. Yeah, that wolf was an absolute get down, Mr. President. The Secret Service is here.
And in the end, they're going to actually turn this Rift Herald into a mid lane tower, which is
they won't
definitely
get to, but too low. They should get the tower. No, they back off. They don't commit for it.
They're not going to.
Not a good Rift Herald usage.
Yeah, they definitely could have easily turned that into the tower, and I mean they might get on the next wave depending on what One Ground and Froggy decide, how aggressive they decide to push it. Okay. So in the end, that was not a good Rift Herald. You definitely wanted to break open the mid lane because you want that easy access into the jungle and then you can move between your lanes and get catches like the one
Oh,
Zhuhao's going
Zhuhao.
for.
He crept forward. The spider was lurking. The repel will make sure that the hippity-hoppity doesn't do enough. And truly, hippity-hoppity, my ideology doesn't work. As LL on the other side goes down. One for one.
But 1 for 1, yeah, LL, he needs to ward for himself, I think, because he's been caught out by the same, like, 3-man group a number of times now.
Yeah, he's been caught a few times, has managed to get away with flashes, but when he dies, when he uses a flash, obviously doesn't have it the next time. And can we point out the fact that Victory still hasn't finished his cull?
Yeah, I was actually going to say, Zhuhao's quite lucky that he's spent so much time putting Victory behind, because Victory had almost finished his Sanguine Blade and finishes it when he dies. But
there's still a replay, never mind.
Yeah, and had he had that finished, I think Zhuhao might have just died there.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because which shows the power of Callista with Sanguine Blade, but
yeah, Callista against melee champions. It's why she's picked, right? It's why she's being picked, because the big lumbering top laners are super popular at the moment. Your Sets, your Mordekaisers, your Orns, and she can just abuse them. Thankfully, Elise, not quite as immobile.
No, not quite with the repel and the ability to just become ranged as well. You're able to get that last bit of damage off. But yeah, Callista's just committing to the split push, and it's surprisingly effective despite the 1 in 5 scoreline.
Yeah, I mean that's the power of this Callista pick. This is not ideal by any means. You should smash lane and then use that to carry game, but it still can sit in a side lane with really high attack speed.
And I think, honestly, one of the side laners needs to build something to deal with it. LL should have grabbed a Bramble Vest at the very least by now.
You need heal reduction against Callista.
Sit in a lane. And and I think Yado might want that as well instead of Morelos.
But LL once again going down. Not looking good on this Aatrox. This is a worrying sign. Cerberus still very far ahead, likely to win this game, but LL needs to tighten his belt. Get those shoes on. We're going to school, man. Stop delaying. I know you want to watch the last 10 minutes of Dragon Ball, but you can't.
He doesn't have the control to be contesting that red buff at all. The vision's all behind him at that point. It's in the entrances to the jungle from the river, but it's not in the entrances that FTV are going to take. Yep. So he ends up getting just collapsed upon and caught out and dying. And he hasn't gained anything since his death streak started.
No.
He was 2-0-6, now he's 2-3-6.
He's actually having less of an impact than the Callista at the moment. Despite the fact that the Callista is 1 in 5.
You could argue he's having more because he's feeding some gold over.
Yeah, he's having a negative impact. You're not wrong. It's a little bit concerning. We need LL to get together. Maybe group up with your team and just go and catch the wave every 30 seconds.
LL needs to either be... Yeah, he needs to play a lot more respectfully of the death squad that seems to be roaming around. And honestly, Cerberus needs to be enforcing what lead they still have and their group of 4. They seem to be pseudo 1-3-1ing, but only in the sense that they're catching the waves, but they're not putting any pressure down.
One thing that Cerberus needs to do that isn't entirely LL's fault is that you have to recognize that there's a death squad, and when you see 3 members, know that it's probable that someone's going down to kill LL, so take the 4v3. You're so far ahead, you can win that fight. You need to punish the punishment on LL.
Yeah, and here's a bit a bit different, doing the G2, the sort of G2 strat of shadowing the split pusher with your mid laner, but which means Cerberus is less likely to take that 4v3, but they need to actually set up proper vision control around the Baron, or like keep attacking the Callista even. Form your own death squad. Send Ron OP to send Ron
totally agree.
The Callista, because right now it's just you're letting FTV back into the game.
Yep, and this is good. Yado came down, they'll chain the CC. Nautilus gets a kill. Now, this is smart here from FTV. They recognize it and they go for a fight of their own, but the Infernum ult does so much damage on the backside. Oh, never mind though. Set is here. He's come in. It's Tiger with a steel chair, and he's come in and broken open Cerberus's head. They're winning a fight they should never win, and Yado makes sure Zhu Hao gets out. Might pay for it with his own life though. And what a turnaround here for FTV.
And yeah, it looked really good from Cerberus. And FTV did the right thing in trying to engage, but I thought with the teleports coming in that Cerberus would be able to turn around with an eventual 5v4 and a gold lead. But massive amount of wombo combo damage coming out on the side of FTV. I believe the ult from Kuroko did a lot of that.
This is ridiculous from Tiger.
You sure? No, that's the ult from Kuroko. Most of that was the ult from Kuroko, just perfectly landing in 4 people. I mean, the Haymaker almost certainly did a chunk of damage.
To be fair, when you get fates called, the support chooses where to go. So it is Tiger.
But Kuroko is the one with the fates.
True. I think the point I was more making was as FTV, they get the Baron and get a 1-for-1, so they do lose 1 Baron buff, and it's unfortunate there that it's on to victory. We'll come back to what I was saying. He made the fight happen because he actually face breaked Zhu Hao onto the wrong side of the blast cone. That's more what I was referring to. It was a very good fight from all of FTV for sure.
I thought you were calling out for a giant Haymaker.
No.
It's like, no, that damage came from Kuroko.
Still did a lot of damage. It was still all the true damage on the line.
It's set. He gets to do a lot, and he's great.
Look, I'm always, if I have a little bit of grey area where that I can't quite tell if Set's popping off or someone else, I'm always going to go for Set because then I get to make WWE calls, and I really like professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Who else can I say he comes in with a steel chair?
Certain skin line maybe.
Braum. Yeah, Braum, you can say it.
Yeah,
but Braum doesn't make those.
Volleyman, skin lines,
so but they're not in this game.
It's true, but. Let me have this.
You can have it.
Anyway, so the most important thing Cerberus was able to get out of that fight, though, was protecting Zhu Hao's scoreline, who's still 604. Maybe a fight.
Here's the knock-up onto Froggy, but really good body blocking there by Tiger. Ooh, no, the Syndra ult was used on a repelled Elise. The Aphelios ult misses as well. This is super, super scrappy. Suplex, make sure they get the kill on the Nautilus. Here's victory. He's going in. That's a double kill now for the Echo. And it's another fight for FTV. Cerberus, you're behind now, kids.
Yeah, Cerberus is just bleeding in these fights, and Artemis is not able to put out the damage he needs. He completely whiffed his ult, scored a field goal with that one, and it wasn't even one of the most impactful ones. It was the server ult.
Yeah, it was healing, which I think was even the wrong one to throw out.
It absolutely was. I don't know if he had Infernum at the time, but
sure. I'd have to go see
or if he just got that one, but. Yeah, he's not.
I'll have to check in this replay. Yeah, he has Infernum. He needs to switch guns. To be fair, he missed, so it didn't really matter.
It didn't matter, but...
Is he getting dived?
No,
No,
he's
he's
just
untouched.
sort of
Just misses for no
sitting in
reason
the
and used
background.
the wrong ult. That's a huge mistake from the Aphelios. The Infernum ult would have changed this fight.
And really just a shocking fight from Artemis. He needs to step up. He's at this point in the game, he's the main source of damage. Like, sure, Zhuhao's 6-0, but that's an Elise.
Zhuhao can only blow up one person.
He can maybe blow up one person at this stage.
Yeah, maybe not.
I mean,
maybe blow an arm off.
With the amount of magic resist on Froggy, Kuriko has his ult. I mean, Police, I suppose, is the target, but with Victory kicking around as well, double AD carry, you can't blow up enough.
You're not going to kill him fast enough. The bullet time does a really good job covering him. Kuriko dancing in there with the ease, but in the end, they all disengage.
Victory just escorting the top wave in, and that tower is going to drop.
I think he's going to win this game.
Carry. FTV is almost certainly going to win this game. Cerberus can hold out and get Soul, which, with their lineup,
pretty strong,
which has like 2 half tanks and a Leona.
Yeah,
it's going to be effective. It's going to be really effective on them, but I also think it might not matter that much because of the sheer amount of damage that comes out of FTV anyway.
Yeah, they definitely need to be able to lock everyone down. I think if the Mountain Soul is picked up, it means that the scaling is very dire for FTV. So they do need to get their skates on and fight while they're still strong, because there will come a time where the front line can just walk at the Callista.
And you can see FTV heading straight out of base on this reset to set up around the dragon. So they clearly want to contest it?
Yeah, they have to contest it, I think. And Rono P, very far forward here, getting a lot done. Zhuhao gets mad chunked out, though. Rono P is dead to victory. He's now 2-7, absolutely popping off. Tiger, again, in the middle of the enemy team, getting a big old suplex. Artemis gets a little bit done in the back line, but he still hasn't really contributed to this fight enough. Hasn't even used the Moonlight Vigil. Infernum ult right now would probably kill one ground. Or maybe not, it would get close, and now Zhuhao goes down. Cerberus!
And that was Rono P just pulling the trigger way too early.
Yeah.
His team was not there. His team couldn't follow up. I mean, he basically half-health Victory on his own, but you need to put it all the way down, because otherwise he just heals back up. And that's pretty much what he did before eventually going down when the rest of the team showed up. And that was what, a 3-for-1 and the dragon going over to FTV. Cerberus needs something, but FTV's just walking all over them. Look, that way too early.
Where is your team? How are you ever going to finish them off? Zhuhao hit a good kick, but there's no damage.
Zhuhao gets 1 W worth of damage in, and that's not a lot of damage.
This is kicking off again. Bullet time used, and the flash away from LL. Baron very, very low. This should be an easy secure, and it is. The Infernum ult was used finally, but here we go. The Grand Slam from Tiger, kicking us off once more, and it's another one fight here for FTV. There's nothing Cerberus can do. What is happening?
Artemis, he threw the ult, but but I was watching, he didn't seem to throw a single auto attack, and at that point, you have to play risky. You have to
FTV
try.
Again, by the way.
Yeah, there's nothing Yado can do. I mean, no offense to Yado, but you're a Nautilus. You can't do anything.
If I'm Victory, open up all chat. GG, top diff. Better top wins.
Yeah, top difference indeed, because
I mean,
wow.
I actually do want to dwell on the top lane just a little bit, because maybe it's self-indulgent, I am a top laner. Victory obviously had a horrific laning phase. Absolutely horrific.
He was completely destroyed. He was shut down. He shouldn't be in the game.
But LL had one of the worst mid games I've ever seen. Victory, to his credit, and I'm sure, how much of it is himself and how much of it is one of his teammates going all right, do this. We don't know.
How
But
much is the pick?
regardless, he just sat in side lanes. Yes, he wasn't the super Callista pick, like split pushing in here because no one can stop him. But he sat in side lanes, he farmed, he pushed, he forced LL to constantly be there to respond, which is what he needed to do. That's exactly.
But
He just needed to not feed in lane. And LL didn't ward, didn't respect the death squad. I'm going to go so far. I'm going to say something controversial, and chat's going to flame me. Victory played better than LL that game.
Absolutely. A lot of the deaths early was from Shuhao. Shuhao came up and put up a tent, and which is what you should do. Which is absolutely what you should be doing, especially with Flash blown at level 1.
Precisely. One thing we do have to do before we go to our break is pick an MVP for game 1. Actually pretty tricky. Because it was a turnaround.
I think Kuriko maybe, because Kuriko was doing a lot in the
I think Tiger. I think he was CCing everyone really well. Tiger or Police. I think it's one of the bot laners.
I definitely don't think Police.
But then I think it's Tiger. I think there was just a couple of very good bullet times.
I'm alright.
But I think we locked Tiger.
Yeah, they were good bullet times, but I think Tiger or Kuriko would be my... Okay. I still lean towards Kuriko, but...
Okay.
I'll concede.
Alright, cool. I conceded one to Yulwei last night that I disagreed with, so I'm now even with color casters, even though you're not Yulwei. But that will be it for game 1. FTV showing that they've got some grit, maybe even some pit grit, and they can stabilize to take us to a game 2 where they have a lead. Not something we see very often. We'll be back in about 9 or 10 minutes. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Sorry for the late notice on the new start time. You found out as soon as we did. So we'll see you in just a little bit. Thanks for tuning in. We love having you here. Welcome back, everybody, to game 2 here of FTV taking on Cerberus. FTV, up a game. That might be the first time I've said that. It might be the first time I've said that. I'd have to check back.
They never won a game 1 before.
Well, they've only won about 3 games. Almost everyone's 2-0'd them. I'd have to check back on their VGA series, because I know GAM they won game 2, so they were never up a game except when they won. They weren't up a game, they were tied. And VGA I think won game 1, so they weren't up a game until the series was over. I'd have to check though.
Yeah. Okay. So new experiences for everyone, and FTV banning their own set.
Oh, are you in? I need to reset my stream really quick. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. I forgot to fix it in the break. That is my fault. We're starting early, okay? I'm off. But once my stream reloads, we will be straight into Champ Select, and here we go.
Alright, well, we've thrown out Cerberus have thrown out a Gragas and Lucian ban so far, and there's a set ban on FTV, and a Renekton ban. So far, much the same, just the set hitting the bench instead of, well, something yet to be determined, I suppose. Could be the Senna, could be... I don't actually remember what else is banned. But Syndra is going to hit the bans as well. So we'll see if Cerberus wants to do something more or less the same. I imagine they might go for the Callista themselves because of the flex potential, or they'll lock an early jungler.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think Jarvan could be a good pick.
Or just lock away that Elise. Zhuhao looks great on it, at least in the early game.
Yeah, and then I imagine the follow-up from FTV will probably be their jungle pick. They might go to Callista again, but I think they're probably more likely to just pick. Oh, yeah, they're AD carry. Guess they're going for they really want that MF. It's a strong pickup.
I think it fits Victory's style quite well, better than the Aphelios. It will potentially
this
take
is FTV.
Yeah.
This is FTV, so Police.
Yeah.
Police was on the MF last game.
Exactly.
Artemis was on the Aphelios.
Yeah, that's my point. Is that they could have picked Aphelios here.
Oh, right.
And I think that's the two ADCs. To be fair, though, that's assuming neither of these teams plays Senna, which is the assumption I'm making. That's the assumption I'm making. I don't think either team will pick Senna. Yeah. Senna's the best AD carry at the moment, and then I think Tier 2 is still Aphelios MF, and I think Police will always pick the MF side of that, is the point I was making.
Okay.
But Cerberus, that's a great bot lane.
Yeah. A much more defensive support for the Aphelios this time instead of the Leona pick. And we're going to see the MF Brom come out from FTV, and
I think that's a good pick.
It's a good bot lane.
Pick away.
I'd almost have preferred just save your support pick your jungle there, and then maybe up a Morgana pick in the second half.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one, because my initial reaction, well, that's good. You don't want them to pick Braum, but of course they weren't going to. Thresh is already locked in.
Yeah.
I think you have an issue here where we're almost certainly going to see two jungle bans out. Oh, never mind. Rumble's banned. So if the jungle pool doesn't get pinched, then they're fine. So we're wrong.
Yeah, and with that ban, you can't exactly pinch the jungle pool at all. I mean, you ban Jarvan, Lee Sin's open, Echo has been proven to be open, Shyvana's open. There are so many champs pickable for the jungle right now that I guess there's no real reason to pinch the jungle. They're going to get rid of the Echo, which is fair. Kuroko was good on it. And here, I think you lock in whatever your jungler is going to be if you're FTV. You can go safe and pick a Jarvan or a Sejuani. You could go for that Shyvana with the Ornn in the mid lane. Or you can go Olaf. And match the early pressure of the Elise.
Yeah. We did see an Olaf get very, very fed last night. So
yes.
Could have the run back. Who knows? An interesting one for sure. And this Akali being Hubbard.
That's not.
That's
locked in.
We did see it being played last night by Husband, and it looked fine. It genuinely, it looked okay. If anything, it looked good.
To be fair, I mean, okay, I was about to say, but to be fair, Husband against FTV.
Yeah, exactly.
We're playing against FTV.
I'll help you. To be fair, it was Husband playing it, not LL. Husband, sure, not the best top laner in the league. That's a hard title to take, but very, very solid top laner. LL has shown a little bit of weakness. That said, this is a comp they've run before, and it went really well.
I'm excited for this. Yes, Froggy has shown to be very good on this Diana pick, and I'm excited. I'm very excited. It's Diana versus Akali. That's going to be very exciting.
Absolutely. I think it's a good matchup. You can yank her out of her circle at 6.
Yeah, you can yank. You can just drop the Sky Laser on top of the Shroud and deal with that. Your Q covers pretty much all the Shroud as well. So there's not a lot that Akali can do to get away through conventional means.
Yeah, and I mean, she's still Akali, so still hard to kill her.
It's still Akali, but it's Akali. It's definitely Akali that's been
changed a lot,
reduced with the targeted first dash. It definitely has crippled her from that from the classic
can't die.
Akali can't die. Just have no fun playing against this champion ever again.
Yeah, exactly. Can't say I'm too happy about seeing Akali being picked in professional play again. I'm still not quite recovered.
It was a good week. It was a good few weeks.
It was a good couple of weeks without having to constantly watch Akali, but as soon as she's playable, she's back. Of course, but this is a little bit, I don't want to say scary, because I'm not a fan of either of these teams. So in the end, whoever wins, as long as it's a fun game, every day is happy. But a little bit electrifying. Because this comp for FTV, when they played it, was really scary. Froggy is a damn good Diana. He didn't carry in terms of damage, but he was getting 4 or 5 man moon lasers every fight with a bullet time laid over it.
Yeah, and I think at the time they had a to wombo, but you can do the same sort of thing with the Glacial Fissure or a Call of the Forge God. So the wombo combo in this team is immense.
Yeah, those are the other ones that keep them in it.
Froggy just Froggy put on such a good display. He got his first MVP on what was essentially his first in the league. It was like second.
Yeah, I think it might have been his second. I think he had like, he's from memory. I don't remember who he played in his first game, but it was a game where he actually looked fine. And we were saying, you should keep him in, but the rest of FTV just collapsed. And then game 2, he looked really good because he was setting his team.
Yeah. I think I almost expected this Diana pick to be permabanned against FTV from now.
I actually think it should be.
And I'm very excited we're getting to see it again.
It's a super, super big enabling pick. I think this team comp doesn't make nearly as much sense without the Diana. Even without the Diana, it's still a good wombo combo. It's a lot of straight line CC that you can use a bullet time over the top of. But I don't think it's anywhere near as good without a good Diana player. And Froggy's a good Diana. So, FTV, with a real chance here to get their first 2-0. And Cerberus, that's almost kills them. It's real bad.
Yeah, so if Cerberus goes down 2-0 here, they're going to have if Cerberus goes down even 2-1 here, they're going to have I would almost say they're out of playoffs.
Mathematically, they wouldn't be.
Still have a chance,
I think if they still win the 2 matchups,
in terms of momentum and stuff, it's no longer fully in their hands, right? Because they still have to play Flash and the 2 teams they're tied with. So if we just assume the Flash, so unless they come up with a big win against Flash, they are not in control of their destiny.
Yeah, exactly. I think me and Yulwei did the maths on the last episode of the Everyway podcast, which you should really check out, by the way. It's on SoundCloud. I think, because we assumed Cerberus gets this win, and we also assumed they lose to Flash. And that would get them to playoffs if they win their head-to-heads. But if they lose this and lose to Flash, well, then suddenly they're not doing much. It's Froggy, good Flash there, away from the early gank. Nothing comes of it.
That's 4 people committed to them.
Artemis went. I don't think Artemis should have run.
And that's huge investment. And LL.
Ooh, LL is going a little bit caught here, but Kuriko takes a lot of damage. Victory will reinforce. And in the end, it's just the Olaf and Victory's flash blown. He actually flashed forward to stop some damage. A lot of resources.
But probably better than giving up first.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it was necessary.
And One Ground just throws the steel chair.
But here we go, as LL going forward again. Zhuhan needs to find a cocoon if they want to dive. He's got aggro, which is perfect. Up in the air. First blood secured for Cerberus. They went very low, but in the end, it was clean.
And Kuriko is making his way up there, so he might be able to.
Yeah, this could be really big.
Quick double.
This is really big. Yeah. He needs to land the axe. Good flash by LL. He doesn't get slowed, but Victory's here. There's a teleport on the other side. This could be 3 kills for FTV. I don't know about Yado coming in. LL goes down immediately. Now, Yado with everything to do, he gets 1 back, and Victory knows he can't threaten. So 2-1 in that second half of the exchange.
Yeah, Yada coming up saved that in
Ooh,
some
Victory's
respect, but
going forward,
Oh.
though. But it's Akali.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. Go back up to top lane. He went back in.
Oh.
Never mind.
Yeah, I think Victory easily could have done a lot of damage in the alcove.
Yeah.
Because that shroud was right against the small spot in the middle, and Victory's E-charge should clean up most of that space. So I think Victory easily could have turned that around, gotten a third kill up there.
Absolutely.
But in the end, it's 2 kills over to this Olaf, which actually really is unfortunate because Victory doesn't get anything. It's just 2 straight solo kills for.
Yeah, the Ornn is just still behind, which is very unfortunate.
Is that? Yeah. With the assist gold, yeah, he's behind. I just saw the CS. Like, yeah, he's fine. Fine. What are you on about?
And FTV, though, will get the first dragon. They're 300 gold down, but I think in a lot of ways the tempo is favouring them at the moment.
Yeah, with grabbing that dragon, and there's small leads in every lane, but yeah, they grab the dragon, which gets them a little bit of extra stats. We're gonna see Cerberus probably have a good amount of control over the early game, but FTV is, yeah, they're definitely not worried. They're not concerned at all.
Ooh, but here comes the dive. Froggy might be concerned. Not the best target selection, as Zhuhao just went straight up in the air, made sure there was no turn potential. And that Diana, certainly there's a bit of a lunar eclipse because I can't see her.
Yeah, that's...
Wait, that's a solar eclipse.
You tried.
I've never once claimed to be smart.
I respect the attempt.
Blue buff steel is also nice.
Yeah, blue buff steel and Froggy. Yeah, that's really unfortunate for this day. The Elise being able to just repel out of the whatever it's called. Is it Moonlight Vigil? I don't know.
No, that's a Velios ult. It is Moonfall.
Moonfall. Yeah, I'm gonna
check, but continue your point.
Yeah, at least being able to repel out of that really just undoes a lot of what Froggy saw in his. He saw the outplay, but it just wasn't going to happen with that.
Yeah, I think Elise was also the target because he might have been able to, if he'd gotten the very quick kill, he also moved over that way and could have potentially run. But in the end, it was a very last-ditch effort. So, yeah, Moonfall.
Oh!
Ooh, wow. I look away to look at an ability name, and Kuroko's dead.
And Kuroko just disappears with the extra resistance is gone after popping his ult. And Victory, he doesn't even land the ult reactivation. It's and it's going.
Oh no!
Oh no!
One ground. You got to respect the Calibrum. You were so low. He just cuts off his head.
And this is just disastrous. Yeah. It's all going wrong.
But Froggy could make it look better, but it's Akali. She uses the R1 to get out of the Moonfall.
Yeah.
There's no point of...
She's back.
There is no...
She's back.
Oh, stop saying... I'm ignoring you. If I put my fingers in my ears and say, Akali doesn't exist, she'll go away. Maybe, it's funny because Riot dropped the Fiddlesticks trailer, but I think this is the scariest thing I'm seeing at the moment. Akali back in pro play. What's your thoughts on the, while we've got a lull state, what do you think of New Fiddle?
That passive is going to be obnoxiously strong, I can feel.
Well, you know it replaces his wards.
I'm aware it replaces his wards, but he essentially gets free pink wards. That's
I don't think they're
pretty
pink
strong.
wards. They don't do the control ward effect forever. They do it for the duration of a sweeper. I think they're a sweeper.
then I don't know. I still think he's gonna be pretty.
Oh
good.
yeah, I think he'll be strong. I more meant like thematically. What are your thoughts?
Oh,
we don't know. We don't know what his numbers
he's really
are gonna
cool. Thematically, really cool.
Yeah.
I'm mad they kept the point and click fear. That was the worst part of his kit.
I think it had to stay. It wouldn't be Fiddlesticks without it.
I don't know, man.
And I think there is room in the game for some super strong point and click CC to keep things like Akali from being oppressive.
Well, right, to be fair, he doesn't also have a point and click silence.
Yeah, exactly. He can't pull lock.
I guess there's so small things.
I think he'll be purely a jungler now as well.
Yeah, I still think depends on the ranges of a lot of his things, but definitely potential for him as a support.
Yeah, the point and click fear is pretty good. As a little bit of a dive down here in the bot lane, teleport's called, but Artemis has already picked up the first kill. Thanks for teleporting in, Victory. We wanted an extra kill. Good job. As down he goes, needed to teleport way, way earlier or just not do it at all. And 3 members of FTV are dead under the tower. This is going to be 2 for Cerberus, and they're running away with this one. I know Cerberus threw game 1, but goddamn, they'd need a big old ball to throw this one away.
And please manage to just waste his flash and cleanse there, because there was no way you were getting out of it.
100% dead.
And it's not even like he tried to flash towards the safety of his base. He basically flashed under his tower and just, you're not getting out. Just take the death. Just come back next week, especially with this Rift Tower going down. See, look at that flash.
Yeah.
You're not getting out at all.
It's just a waste.
And almost as big a waste as what Victory did here. And
probably worse.
Correctly knows, leave.
He's probably worse what Victory did because he didn't just lose his team resources. He gave the enemy team some gold. It was pretty horrible, honestly. I still do not understand FTV not playing Rika. Rika is not a lights-out player, but you can bang him on an Ornn, a Poppy. He's even got a pretty good Camille, and he won't do this. He'll be fine.
Yeah, this is just pretty much disaster all around for FTV right now. Like, there's no one's ahead at all.
No.
They have no pressure on the map.
Their wombo combo doesn't kill Cerberus anymore. Oh, they will try and kill Zhuhao though, but a good flash gets him out.
And they commit 2 ultimates and they get a flash.
2 ults for a flash is okay. I think that's okay.
But it leaves this mid tower open to the siege, and that's almost certainly going to fall. Artemis.
Yeah, it's still fairly tanky, and Artemis doesn't have a very good siege gun setup. So I think it will survive for now, as Police is behind, yes, but not catastrophically behind. So can still stand there to clean up some waves.
Yeah, he's down about 20 CS and 2 kills.
Yeah, but look at the rest. Look at the rest of his team though. Like, I guess Froggy's a bit closer.
Froggy's a bit
there's
closer.
There's an Ornn horn being used as Victory was just apparently dying in the backline, doing everything he can. Ornn does do a lot of damage,
just dying.
But he finally will go down. Ron OP says, oh, hey man, I'll take a free kill. And then over the wall does go Pantheon, finding the easiest kills of his life, probably the most lazy triple kill you can imagine. But he definitely earned it. And FTV do get aced. I think we're getting game 3 of this series.
Yeah, it's very hard to see FTV.
To be fair,
I mean, obviously, yeah, but it looks like LL's learned his lesson. Yeah. I'm now. I'm not running it down. I'm just running into people with everyone else. And
I think this might be the biggest gold lead we've ever seen. 10K.
Ooh.
10.5K at 14 minutes.
It's not even 20 minutes. Uh-huh. Jesus.
That's probably the biggest gold lead I'd have to look at some GAM games, but I think that's the biggest gold lead I've ever seen.
Cerberus just had a fumble in game one. They're trying to tell us they know what they're doing.
This is definitely a confidence restorer.
This is more what we would have expected after that secret series.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of that was Secret playing badly, but it was also Cerberus playing well. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, you got to catch the throw. So, Yep, Cerberus had a bit of a hiccup in game one. I mean, to be fair, they're starting 5 hours early. Maybe their sleep schedules were a little bit buggered. Gamers like a lie-in, so maybe they were just tired.
Yeah,
definitely.
And, I mean, you can't count this FTV. You definitely can't count the FTV comp out.
I almost think you can. I don't think they do enough damage to kill them anymore.
It's not a tanky comp from the side of Cerberus at all.
Yeah, but Pantheon can walk through it all.
Pantheon can walk through it all, but he doesn't. His E doesn't work like.
Yeah, I know, but he can jump.
All the damage goes.
Worried.
Kills everyone else.
I'm worried that we're going to have a situation where everyone else, sorry, I should phrase it differently. FTV is far enough behind that it's not an instant team fight win, and Police ends up dying mid-combo to LL, and then Cerberus is still healthy enough to win the fight.
I mean, yeah, the ideal would be to keep him in the bouncy castle long enough to
that's true.
Get at least most of the bullet time off. And
the perfect wombo combo definitely still wins FTV fights. You're right. We can't count it out, but it's last chance saloon.
Yeah, it's not likely, but it can't be just completely dismissed, as LL's about to die right here. Which, of course, is maybe a questionable decision given Rift Herald.
Yeah. Very questionable, but Shelly will be charging an inhibitor, something she doesn't get to do very often. Good job for Shelly. Whoa, don't know about that flash from Artemis. I don't think it was necessary. Had a lot of reinforcements coming. Froggy very far forward, looking for a big moonfall. It does a fair chunk of damage, but it's not going to be enough. He should be going down momentarily, and he does. Juhao will get one. Yado will get another. Bullet time used purely to zone. And it's all continuing to go wrong. You used a bullet time to zone. Why didn't you walk away? FTV, come on now.
And it was all just used out of sync. The ult from Victory goes off. It forces a flash. Then Froggy goes in with no backup. And it's just... the team is out of sync. They have a very easy way back into this game in terms of what you're meant to do. It just requires doing it all together. And that is the opposite of what happened there. And now FTV they've got nothing left in the... I think at this point they have nothing.
I think that they're very tilted. Because the decision... I liked... Yeah, it wasn't the combo working, but I don't necessarily think they were going for the combo there. Police used the bullet time to say, okay, you can't walk into this, that will kill you. The rest of my team can walk away, and then I can walk away. But then Victory just walked up.
Yeah, Police's bullet time was already after the ult from Victory, and the ult from went in independent of each other. And so at that point, yeah, I understand Police's as a zoning tool.
Yeah.
But I don't understand Froggy's ult.
Yeah, exactly. Froggy's ult
jumped in.
I think he was a little bit caught, maybe. He thought it wasn't a good decision, but maybe that's what his thought was.
Maybe.
I'm not... we'd have to even ask him, and I don't think he has an answer.
I think FTV is just thinking, all right, go next.
It's tilt play. Oh my god. Oh, Rakan, I'm sorry. Oh no.
Did you sit on your bed?
No, he got so scared because a little eagle landed on my windowsill.
Oh.
There are these really little... I don't actually know if they're eagles. That's probably not what they are. There's these little birds that live near the beach. And it landed on the windowsill and pecked the window that Rakan was sitting at. It scared him. Oh, Rakan! Oh, sorry, Booby.
Oh, dear. Oh dear. Well, he's about as scared as FTV is.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah. I definitely
Okay.
agree. Oh, come here, you.
And FTV just they can't do anything. They have to try and check this Baron, but it's
I
not
mean,
gonna.
this
They're
is
not
the
gonna get
best
there in
place to
time.
fight for them. In the pit. But I don't think they're going to get close. The Ornhorn is blown. Are they going to go for the combo? Yado gets out. They need to do it now if they're going to do it.
There's the
Bullet time was
time.
used, but it was all disjointed.
Doesn't-
You have to layer this stuff. They couldn't do it. They managed to get one back. There is some low health bars here. They're coming forward, but Aphelios is doing way too much. And it's just Police and Victory left. It's a 2v2. Surprisingly, oh my god, Victory just went huge. Can Police find anything? It's a triple kill for Victory. And they managed to come out 4 for 4. I'm not sure how.
High ground kept Police alive so long.
Yeah.
The Unbreakable. So much of Artemis's damage just did not touch Police, and he was able to get all that. He was able to get enough damage down onto the backline of Cerberus. But in the end,
that was a
and then win. Victory coming up clutch with the.
I really want to watch your eyes. You made the point on one ground in the second half of this fight. Good Glacial Fissure puts a huge slow field down. Froggy dives in a little bit unwise here, but then now start watching one ground. Goes forward. Police gets caught by a cocoon, and then one ground puts up the shield and keeps him alive for this crucial couple of seconds.
And I thought it was gone when Ronopy lands the hook, but Victory manages to get the clutch searing charge onto Artemis and kills him, meaning that it all winds up going 4 for 4 and not just even worse.
And it was shutdowns as well, so that's actually a very big win for FTV. They're still very far behind, and you've got a round 2 at the Miracle Bar. Man's last hope.
This time, no flash in place.
Teleport coming in. Froggy's here. They're going to make this play. This is your last ditch. Can they get in before the Baron goes down? I don't think they'll even get there in time. Baron secured. Yado in the backline, and FTV are just going to back away, but I don't think Cerberus is going to let them. The Grand Manfall is here. Good bullet time, doing a lot of damage, but it doesn't matter because Pantheon and Akali will just get onto you anyway. Double kill for Akali. Double kill for the Aphelios. And FTV, they had one miracle fight, but Cerberus said, yeah, no, your god's not coming again.
They win. Cerberus just runs it back. There's no escaping the underworld. FTV, they're going down. And with a Baron buff, easily just ends the game here. And yeah, that could have gone differently if Victory had had his ult up for that fight, but nope, wasn't gonna be. Akali finds his way on to Police. And we're tied up, one for one.
Absolutely. It was a good call by Cerberus to just immediately run it back. You know that they're super reliant on their ult combo, but they use their ults. They're still on cooldown. Just run it straight back. They're not going to be able to do it again, and they couldn't. Maybe if a few things had gone a different way, that last fight might have changed. But honestly, Cerberus could have run that fight 6 times. And unless they lost all 6, they probably would have been okay. So we are 1-1. Can FTV bounce back in Game 3, or was Game 1 just a little bit of a trip?
You have to think that it's possible. It's possible, but that was a very dominant showing from Cerberus, and unless we see a change up in the bans, perhaps, I imagine FTV's back on blue side again. So they'll probably be able to leave the set open for themselves and try something with that again. Maybe it's just they have a more comfortable blue side than red side, but
potentially.
But yeah, that was just so dominant from Cerberus rather that I don't know. I would be I would be betting on Cerberus.
I think you would be a very foolish man to ever trust FTV with a bet. Not that we advocate betting,
Well,
nor are we giving advice. Casters' thoughts are their own. But we will be back in a little while to see who will take this one. Will Cerberus manage to continue on the right course?
MVP.
Oh, MVP. I completely forgot.
Yeah. I actually don't know.
That's tricky. There were good hooks. There were some really good hooks.
They were good hooks. I think a lot of it came from LL's map movements, though.
Yeah, the Pantheon was super influential. I think LL is my MVP though. Yep.
Yeah. LL or maybe Zhuhao, but I think LL.
Let's lock in LL. We both agree on that one. But with Everyday not forgetting how this format works. We will be back in about 8 minutes. Don't go anywhere, guys, to see who will take out the first series on our first Corona early day. Maybe go down to the bottle shop, grab a Corona. Or maybe don't if you're in quarantine. Don't want to be caught giving bad advice. But we'll be back very soon, guys. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. And we are here in a game 3 that we did not expect to see. It's 1-1. Cerberus took an absolutely just obliteration in game 2 is what they unleashed. Game 1, FTV probably should have won. Cerberus probably should have won that game too. But in the end, FTV caught the throw. And now we go into the third game. I have to ask, can FTV finish off this miracle series? Or will it be another loss for them?
After that last game,
hard.
FTV is going to need to do some serious soul searching.
They need to make some subs.
Find a way back in there. Substitutions would definitely not be amiss.
Before the last week and a half where they suddenly made him a sub, thank God, this is a substitution they need to make. Rika in, Victory out. As I was just saying this split, Rika's been their best player. Police, I love Police. I rate him really highly. Last split, he was potentially the best ADC in the league despite FTV being terrible. He had a really good split. This split has been not as good. Rika has been the best player on this team, and they were subbing him out to keep Victory in. I don't understand it, as we are thick and fast into Champ Select here.
Yeah, I definitely don't understand it either. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
Unless Victory is pulling the same sort of thing Kuroko was in shot calling duties, which seems kind of weird that you'd have two filling that role, but with Rika, you at least have a reasonably solid. You have reasonably solid players in all your roles.
Yep.
Don't have the best of the best, but you have competent players.
Players exist.
Yeah, and Victory's just been shocking. Kuroko, he's not the best jungler, but you at least know what role he provides the team. And he's in the jungle. You can always put him on Sejuani or something, and he'll just do his tank job.
Yep, I agree. So we go through the picks and bans, actually looking pretty similar. FTV won't be able to get... Oh.
This is... it. Oh, thank God.
Okay, you're a little bit ahead of us, I think, as I'm still seeing a Jake. Oh, there we go. Felios will be the pick. Jace, bad call.
Yeah, the Jace hover. If Jace was a first pick, that would be shocking. Aphelios, we're going to see police on it. Taking it away from Artemis, fine. After a pretty good showing of it last time. But this means Kuroko's... Wait, no, Cerberus is going to get the Elise again. And would it have been worth to take the Elise away, I wonder?
Shuhao's had a couple of very, very good Elise performances.
Yeah.
And again, I think Police wants the MF side of the Aphelios MF trade. So it's I don't agree with the decision, honestly. And they lock in this Nidalee for Kuriko.
Yeah.
I think that's putting way too much weight of responsibility on Kuriko's head.
That's putting a lot of pressure on Kuriko to carry.
Oh,
And I mean, he had
gonna-
a Thresh is bad.
What? But if you're going to first pick Aphelios, why did you ban Thresh?
I can only assume they expected the Aphelios ban
Yes.
to come out on the side of Cerberus, but I don't like picking up the Tom Kench. Really, I think Braum probably would have been a nicer pick. Because MF is almost certainly going to be the pickup. It also shuts off the.
You also didn't need to pick
Cerberus.
support there. You're going to pick Tom Kench isn't getting banned. So if you're thinking Tom Kench, you don't need to pick him there.
That too, and also again to the Nidalee, as I was going to say, FTV, like Kuriko played an okay Shyvana, and it plays relatively the same. It's just a lot easier to play Shyvana.
I think Nidalee has a little bit more execution than the Shyvana.
Yeah, it's just easier to play Shyvana.
Yeah, particularly AP Shyvana.
I don't fully understand this draft unless we're going to see one of Froggy's weird jungle picks in the mid lane with this Nidalee, which I would not expect.
No, I highly doubt. I don't think lane Nidalee is playable at the moment.
There's no reason to pick it this early. No. Absolutely none.
We're going to see that. I mean, again, also this Mordekaiser ban, I am not scared of Mordekaiser. I think Mordekaiser has actually looked pretty bad in pro play for a little while now. He's good at making top lane not a factor, but he doesn't win lanes. You don't really need to ban him. As Galio for mid lane and Irelia for Rika. He has played this a few times, and he's not terrible. But I don't think the team, needed more frontline. Just enable Police's Aphelios.
And
damage in the mid lane as well.
I mean, Galio Irelia is a pretty solid frontline, but I feel you could have picked Aatrox for Rika, which would have forced either the Akali to go up top for LL or LL onto something even further down the tier list. Because right now, you just sort of give LL Aatrox, Yados back on Akali, which he played very well, and it's just going to be sort of.
I'm seeing something very wacky right now.
Yeah, I assume that Ghost is a mistake.
Hopefully that's a visual bug. Because, you can't flash taunt, but you can still... Sorry, you can't taunt flash, but you can still flash taunt. We saw Dia1 doing it last night. You still want flash on Galio. That might be a client bug or just a little mistake. He might have misclicked because he was screwing with his summoners. I don't think he's going to run the Ghost, and if he does, I'll be very confused.
If he does, that's going to be pretty bad. Pretty bad. Unless there's some high quality... Unless you can, you Ghost taunt and you just run around at 50 miles per hour with your taunt going.
I think that's just not as good as Flash.
I don't think so either, but I don't know. I'm not a Galio main.
True. I
haven't seen a Galio.
I genuinely think I've played 2 games of reworked Galio.
I played him a lot when he came out as a support, but you could still flash taunt.
I don't play support. So if you turn nameplates off, because I know some of our concerns are very much about who is playing what, I don't think FTV's draft is horrible.
Yeah, I don't think it's good.
I think it's okay. It's not as good as Cerberus draft. And when you flick those nameplates back on, I'm so concerned about Kuriko being put in a very important position. He has to enable this comp.
Yeah. And a lot of it's going to come down to this Nidalee. And is Froggy going top? Is this top Galio? He's hanging out in the top lane at the moment. Oh no, Rika's up there. They're just looking for a pick. Okay. I assume they're just looking for a pick.
Yes.
And
Yeah. This is just a pick. LL instantly flashing away. Good start.
Instant
Yeah,
flash.
he knew.
Whew.
Yeah, good call, LL. Just smashed down on that flash button. And he did use Ghost Heal. He has Ghost Heal, and he used the Ghost.
He used the Ghost.
Ghost Heal Galio.
I feel he probably thought he had flash and was going to flash follow with a heal thing.
How many degrees off center do you think Froggy's tilted? Like 250? Is he an obtuse or an acute angle now?
He's a reflex, man.
Yeah.
He's beyond 180.
Yeah. He's kicked all the way around. Need some trigonometry to figure out how long each side of Froggy is at the moment. That's
so unfortunate for the boy.
I mean, I don't think it's unfortunate. It's just it's his own fault, right? Like, he picked the Ghost Heal. You're a professional. You can't get that tilted, dude. Like, maybe that's part of the reason the subs have been a bit weird. Froggy's young. Maybe he just has a bit of a mental boom issue.
Potentially, but then why wouldn't he have been?
Well, he got subbed.
Why wouldn't he have been?
He got subbed last time in a similar situation. And maybe this time they said, no, you'll be okay. Or he insisted he'll be okay. This is all speculation.
Yeah.
It's all speculation. We obviously don't know. Maybe he said he'll be okay. So they kept him in. Because he is the better player than Victory. No question.
Yes.
But if he's tilted, then that's very worrying. But that said, it is going very far to say that he picked summoner spells based on tilt. Tilt, it manifests in silly plays, not stuff that your coach can just look at and say, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. So this could easily just be some dark tech.
I'm just trying to theory craft it because I have heal. Okay, I'm okay with the heal against Akali. It's a bit weird, but it kind of makes sense. I just don't understand the Ghost.
Yeah. It lets you run down river faster to get your. I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I can spout a lot of things, but in the end, it's just Ghost make you run fast, and you still probably want flash.
Yeah.
And Gurga's just going to help.
Yeah. This is already going really badly for Froggy as well. It's a 2v2 in the mid lane, but Juhao won't get in range, so they're okay. Froggy did really well there. I actually want to praise him, as we've been talking about him. Traded a lot of health bar for CS, which is how you want to play this matchup. Took a lot of damage without returning really any onto Yado. He returned a fair bit with the Winds of War, but he definitely was losing trades. It's Galio against Akali, of course he is, but he traded it to stay even in CS, which is a good call.
And if he can avoid dying, he'll probably back on this wave, buy some more pots, buy some more forms of sustain to keep him in this game. Rika dives in.
Rika goes forward at the wrong time here. Can he get out? He's very, very low. Anything will finish him off, but Kuriko's here to cover him, and the teleport from Yado is a complete waste. Unless they go under tower. They'll push a big wave into the tower. Do they want to make an issue of this? It's a lot of gold for Cerberus regardless. But I don't think the teleport's paid off. And here comes Froggy. He'd love to go for a flash, but he gets the double taunt anyway. Mistakes coming out, but now they're too far forward here. Kuriko getting chunked. Can Froggy pop off with Rika, who's teleported back? He can do a lot here. That Flawless Duet is primed. He hits one stun. It's not quite what he wanted, though. He wanted to be able to dash onto a low health target. There's the first one. He had the reset. Rika is here. Can we get the triple? Will we see the triple? We will. And this is why you bring him in. Rika, you're a freaker. And he brings him back into the game.
And bot side, FTV is able to pick up a kill in.
Oh, what the hell? How did that happen?
And it all goes right for FTV. I I don't know, but they blew both Flash's and Artemis's heal, and I did I can't just, I don't know, Flash eat Ron OP or something? But
We'll have to have a look. Let's have a look at the
something's
bot
happened.
lane.
We'll see that in the replay.
P did
Imagine.
die, and Cerberus has 4 kills to zip at 6 minutes. Sorry, FTV. My brain didn't want to say it.
And Rika coming up huge by TPing back in. Froggy just escaping with his life. On
Good start by
next to
Froggy.
no
Froggy
health
plays
after this.
as well.
Yeah, great start. Kuriko and Froggy are able to do a lot of damage in a 2v3. Then when Rika arrives, he's able to turn this around.
Also, one thing I
Froggy
want to praise
keeps on-
Rika for is he didn't dash until he could get a reset. And it made a huge difference. It was really well done.
Yeah, he dashed onto the reset. I just thought he'd dash straight onto.
No, it was. I think he dashed the spider lane.
No, because he got a mark with the
Oh no, he got a mark. I'm wrong.
with a flawless duet.
Yeah.
So I mean, he might have gone to a spider.
No. You are completely right. I don't know why. I forgot the mark system, so I assumed it was a spider. Yeah. No, you're completely right. And it was still a good play.
Either way, I assumed he'd go hard onto Shuhao, but
Froggy in a lot of trouble here. Sorry to interrupt. And down he goes. Cerberus firing back.
Yeah, and not much Froggy could do there. Once Cocoon lands, it's pretty much you pretty much get stunned up by the ult from Akali, and you just not a lot you can do there. But FTV are able to use their pressure bot lane to secure a dragon, so in the end it ends up being a kill for a dragon, and now we're seeing Zhuhao make his way top.
Yep, Rika now in a lot of trouble here. Didn't use that W in the right time. Pops the Vanguard's edge, but it's not going to matter. No, and the sword comes slamming down. He's dead.
Yeah, that seemed weird. I don't understand the use of the ult there.
I think he just tried to go for the big outplay because he knew he was dead. The ult's not that long a cooldown.
I guess, or or maybe it was the case of maybe Froggy will get in range in time. What's showing is he just rocked back up in top lane, but yeah, I think he probably had the means to escape, but yeah, decided to try for an outplay, maybe trade one, but in the end, it's a shutdown going to LL, which should bring him back within spitting distance of Rika in the gold department. But yeah, but luckily not too much else is lost.
But Cerberus is actually, they're only 600, 700 gold down now because they're getting tower plates everywhere. No tower plates so far for FTV. So despite that early pop-off where they got out to a nice lead, they haven't done anything more with it, and Cerberus is now firing back on all cylinders. This is a problem.
Yeah,
they need to keep going.
Yeah, they need to apply the pressure, and I think the way to do that is to look into putting that. They've managed to secure Rift Herald, and they'll probably look to drop it mid, as that's where Police and Highground are hanging out. So, and in that 2v1 they have going on right now, until Ron OP, who is probably going to go back and try and support.
I don't think we ever saw how that bot lane kill happened.
No, we got to that point in the replay and then immediately went live because someone was killing someone else.
Fortunate.
Or it's just, one of the great mysteries.
It's like, I don't know if you watched the broadcast last night. There was a visual bug that led to the great Sherlock Holmes inning, where someone had 4 stacks of Kai'Sa passive on them, but were completely out of the fight, and then died from a quarter health. I'm like, what happened?
Oh.
It was a visual bug. It was a Kai'Sa W procking the passive, but there was we couldn't see the projectile. As Rift Herald gets FTV some tower plates. Not the greatest usage of the Rift Herald. Getting the tower plates is nice, but I think you needed a bit more. Particularly because it's traded back onto LL.
And it's shared across all members.
Yep.
compared to the consolidation. And generally, you want to consolidate your gold
Absolutely.
income. You don't want to spread it out because everyone getting 50 gold means cool. We can buy a pot. If someone gets 200 gold, that's enough to push them over the edge to get their next big item, which does a lot more for your team fighting power. So as moving on, we can see this.
Ooh,
FTV
never
setting
mind.
up
You don't
and
get to
all
talk,
bets
as Rono
down.
P is dead. Rika doing well out of the brush. And can they keep it going? No, Cerberus says they can keep it going. As Yardo's here, the heroic entrance didn't quite lock them up well enough, and Akali can make her way out of the fight. Now one ground, very caught out here. That's an angry Darken. Slice, slash, death. To the ground goes one ground.
Yeah, one ground, very far up. Not much you can do there. You're caught out between the knockups from an Aatrox and Elise. You're not going to get anywhere, and that gives LL more time on this top tower, and he's probably going to get first brick.
Yep.
Maybe not this wave, but maybe this wave, but he'll get it eventually. It seems, unless Rika's able to completely shut him off shut off his access to the. But yeah,
So,
all in all, FTV's playing
it close.
playing good individually, but it seems Cerberus is just out rotating almost every time.
Which is something we actually say about Cerberus quite often. Cerberus, Rika, we'll come back to it as he's in a lot of trouble here. Can LL find the solo kill? Flash! Ooh! Very close there.
Rika is 2 levels down.
Yeah, he's getting smashed.
He has been sticking with his team. He is not getting enough. He's not getting experience. And LL has just been able to just sit in his side wave and do pretty much what Victory was doing in game 1. Just sit in your side wave, get experience, get levels, get gold, and just carry on doing what you need to do. And it's working for them. He's about even in gold from what we saw when it flashed over, and he's well ahead in experience. So LL is actually in a far stronger position than Rika, despite the scoreline.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a little bit of mismanagement. They needed to get more of a lead out of pulling Rika out of the top lane, because he is now pretty cripplingly behind in experience, so he could still catch up, of course, if they put him in the right position. But Cerberus is really bouncing back from the early deficit as Yardo uses that smoke, and Akali once again just walks away.
And I think and FTV, I'm pretty sure, outplayed themselves with their early rotations. They decided we're gonna shift the bot lane into mid lane, move Galio up top and Rika down bottom to just try and get extra security around this Rift Herald. And in the end, it just meant Rika got zoned off from a lot of experience by the bot lane and wasn't able to aggress his lead. I think you were better off, considering your situation, just keeping that laning phase going as long as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because you got massive advantages. You got free advantages in 2v2. Rika outplayed massively to get ahead on his own, and so you wound up pretty much ahead or even in all 3 lanes of the jungle. You just needed to keep that status quo, and you threw it away. And it gives Cerberus that opening to find their way back in.
Yep, 100% I agree. Another thing to note that is maybe to match some doom and gloom for FTV with a little bit of sunshine is Big Koro is very far ahead in CS in the jungle, as Nidalee kind of has to be. But
why is Big Koro in this game, and why is he roll swapped?
Did I say Big Koro? Wow. As I said, early start, okay? I haven't gotten a full night's sleep. It's obviously Kuriko. My bad. Hook there onto Rika to start this out, but it was a good Vanguard's edge. Hit a lot of them. Can FTV find this? They've got the health bar lead. They're going to clean this team fight up. Cerberus falling. Artemis being chased out. Uses the flash, and he's got those heels on, so he's pretty quick. But here's the catfish. Blah, blah, so is the tongue in the wrong direction, but it doesn't matter, as he will go down, as will most of the rest of Cerberus. And FTV.
And Rika and Froggy come up huge. Police completely whiffs his ultimate. And in the end, the solo lane is from FTV, just in the backline, causing massive havoc. Cerberus isn't able to do anything, essentially. And there we go. And now Police is able to siege up. They're able to break that top tower, and the gold is back to FTV's advantage. And who got the Rift Herald?
Good question, actually. I think it was Cerberus.
Yeah.
Would have been Cerberus. Never mind. I'm actually just trying to track that now.
Cerberus
I don't think it got picked up.
No? Yeah, I guess Cerberus...
Juha should have grabbed it. It was worth dying for it.
Yeah, Cerberus got the smite, but they were chased off. Yep. And that's... I mean, obviously you wanted it, but that's about as good as you can hope for if you're FTV.
Absolutely.
If they don't get it...
It's basically like the objective didn't exist, and you just got a free team fight.
Yeah.
So Cerberus...
We see some man again, boys.
Yeah. Cerberus is in a very, very bad position here. Froggy might be in an even worse one. If they can hit the cocoon, they can. This is so much damage. Can he survive long enough for the boys to arrive? Good stopwatch to dodge the Nautilus. Do they want to turn this around? It's risky considering the health bars, but gobble, gobble, gobble goes Tom Kench. And it gets
that's
out.
The teleport from
Yep, that's a huge win. And in the mid lane, they catch on to Artemis. And he goes 0-2. FTV.
FTV's in a really good position now. Rika and Police could quite easily melt this turret with the server and Q. And even with Froggy coming up as well, that tower is almost certainly going down. And that's just a wasted teleport, a free kill, and a free mid lane turret. And the dragon on top of it. FTV gets everything out of that attempt onto Froggy. And Froggy survived for ages with Aftershock, with Stopwatch, and then Tom Kench, I believe, flashed for the Devour?
Yep.
Judging by his flash cooldown.
Played it really well.
Yeah, just everything goes FTV's way there. The gold... Only at about 3,000, but
it's only at 18 minutes. That's a significant lead.
But yeah, it's only 18. It's only 18 minutes, and you've got 3 Drakes.
Yeah,
you've got the big Drake snowball going. Rika's a reverse John 117 right now. He's doing good. He's a good convenience store.
Absolutely. You can go get a Slurpee whenever you want from Rika. Sure, he's got all the flavors. Though, to be fair, a lot of his Slurpees might be suspiciously dog-flavored because he's killed Cerberus a few times.
Yeah. Bit salty from the Armored Titan.
Yeah, I realized for a moment there that might have sounded really dodgy when I started it. I just want to clarify, Cerberus in Greek mythology is a dog.
Yeah.
Just clarifying. Don't get the wrong idea.
I was confused until you said so. Yeah. Okay. I understand.
So, regardless, Rika is...
Honestly, I looked for a Naxos.
Moving swiftly onwards. Cerberus is not having a good one so far. One thing to comment on here is the Ghost. Again, we've seen it play out a few times, and I've got to say, it's actually getting a little bit of value because once he's in the back line, he gets past the Aatrox and the Elise, he can just run down the rest of the team. You don't necessarily need the Flash to get past that front line. I still think true. Flash, in the end, is more consistent, but I think Ghost is kind of working.
I think it's Froggy making the bad situation rather than an intentional pick. I mean, I could be completely wrong, of course. It seems weird that you take the wrong this level, but I feel better in in believing that Froggy making the best of bad situation because Ghost just. I understood Ghost on Olaf. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because
It's also because
he
it's
doesn't
not
take
old
you over
Ghost.
walls.
Old Ghost was so much better.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
you got the full movement.
Yeah. And I might understand it if Justice Punch took you over walls, but it doesn't. So.
Yep. Well, we'll have to
FTV's
see if they
gonna
can
stop
continue
Baron,
it.
and
Baron,
they have
he's
so
got
much vision.
Yep, police, though, should be able to get out of this sniper rifle. Unfortunately for him, it was the Infernum next, so no Crescendum to melt it. Could not get to Boros. Had to deal with...
But the
Cruel,
Is It combo is excellent for team.
Yes.
Blue-red is it.
Is it? Yeah, of course, is it. I don't play much, is it. I almost said Celestia, but that's obviously
It's my preferred pair.
Give Mizzet is one of my favorite cards.
Oh, he's
awesome.
Draw a card, deal damage, draw a card. It's all good.
Exactly. You love it. But back into this video game, or this game.
This game.
Lost it. Lost it. The plot's gone. But
FTV should not be this far ahead. It's FTV.
We have much like Froggy, we have ghosted out of this cast. This is a very interesting game. It's definitely not over, but FTV is 100% in the driving seat here. Cerberus needs to find a way to get a hand on the wheel, or they may well just find themselves being parked at Cerberus Loser's Yard. Great.
And FTV doesn't have to press too hard while they have this advantage that is Rika. Rika should be able to provide so much pressure in the 1v1, but if they're going to give up the pressure around this top side to set up for the soul, and that's probably the correct move. You could easily say, you get one dragon, we'll take Baron, and then use that to push down a number of objectives. But getting soul is always good. Giving Galio more ult, Rika more movement when Vanguard's edge.
Absolutely.
Oh, actually, to be fair, it's not the best team drag for a soul.
No, it's not. Cloud Soul is, I think, probably definitely in this matter, it's the worst of the souls. It's always nice to have, of course. You can always make a case for it, but I think pretty much always you'd prefer one of the other three, unless you have a super ult-heavy comp. They don't. So I actually don't mind Cerberus giving that up. Any other soul, I'd be angry, but Cloud, it's just Cloud.
That said, grabbing it right, man. Denying any CDR over to Cerberus is probably
a little bit of an engage here for Cerberus. Okay. They want to make something happen. Kuriko getting chased down. The heroic entrance, though, means Froggy's in the back line. There's a big Aphelios ult. This could be very bad for Cerberus, but they do start it off. Oh, the bullet time lives up to its name, dealing so much damage. But Cerberus needs to finish these kills. They've got 3. Rika, very cheeky there for the flawless duet. But Cerberus should be able to turn this on to Baron, and they've winded it up. Come up to the pitcher's mound and said, come on, boys, let's throw a fastball.
And once again, with this comp fighting in a corridor, even necessarily a wombo comp, you get so much value from the enclosed corridors. Kuriko is alive. If Rika can keep Yado from just removing Kuriko from the game.
Yeah, but he goes in, does get that first kill, gets 2. That's a jungler dead. That's really big here because Kuriko's alive. Oh, but he dives in a little bit too deep. And Kuriko
finish it off.
Saw blood, the animal instincts. Didn't need to die there, but they do stop the Baron.
No, I appreciate the attempt, and if he'd maybe gone a more damage-heavy build instead of the Athenes, he might have got it done, but in the end, it's still, they achieve what they set out to do. They stop the Baron. Even though they lose 2, it winds up being a 2 for 2, even though it was essentially Rika 1v5ing. Oh, Rika wants his spot. He's saying, I'm here, don't you dare put me back on this bench because I'm carrying
Yeah.
goddamn game.
Exactly. Weird that he wasn't in the team fight that kicked it all off. He was down in the bot lane and didn't have teleport. So unfortunate there, because Cerberus, of course, initiated the fight. FTV couldn't do anything about that.
And you can see the ghost actually come into.
It actually mattered.
Again, it was
then
the
you're
ghost
fighting MF in a corridor.
Yeah, you're fighting MF. You're fighting Nautilus. You're fighting Aatrox.
We know what happens when someone starts shooting in corridors.
Yeah, you suffer.
Yeah.
You suffer.
Yeah, a lot of people suffer.
I feel that's a reference I'm not catching.
That's okay.
Right?
I'm not going to explain it because it was edgy. As Yano has been caught out, the bullet time tried to use as a zone, but that's a dead Akali, and now FTV turns to the Baron.
And now FTV on Baron, and so much from Cerberus just did very little. Both the bullet time and the depth charge were both used.
And nothing was gained from it. Watch him very closely. Kuriko's 2 levels up on him. So it's not actually a 50-50, but it might not matter if Cerberus just goes for the fight. LL did so much disruption there. He goes down, but it's enough that they have to back off Baron again. And this worm is saying, can you stop speeding me up and just kill me?
Yeah, they're toying with the old raid boss up there. He just wants someone to put him out of misery. Or he doesn't. I don't actually know Baron's take on life. He might personally just be sick of everybody trying to kill him at the time.
I think he's definitely getting sick of it. Particularly, last year was a rough year for Baron with all those Mountain Drakes. Particularly in the VCS, where every game was like 4 Mountain Drakes. Baron didn't like the VCS very much.
No. Yeah, well, and this game is actually very even. The gold lead has shrunk to within 1,000.
Yep.
Or just over 1,000. Kills so close. The only real advantage FTV has is that soul, and it's probably the weakest soul they could get.
Yeah, it is. It's very lucky here for Cerberus that it was a Cloud Soul. If it had been any other soul, I think FTV would be 90% to win. But because it's a Cloud Soul, they don't get as much of a buff.
Yeah. The best part about their Cloud Soul is that it's the takeaway. You don't get more cooldown on bullet time, on depth charge. You don't get the extra world render. And that's probably the best part about it on FTV. Cerberus doesn't have any clouds.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
And when that's your value, that's unfortunate.
But Elder Drake is up in 40 seconds.
This should be the ending of the game.
Yep,
or at least get us into a position where the game is decided.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the objective's meant to do, and I'm sure it will. So this is tense.
Will we see a Baron for Elder trade? We've seen it before.
It's a horrible trade. Don't do it.
It shouldn't happen, but we've seen it before.
Teams have learned of the power of Elder Drake at this point. The hook starts out. Ron OP into a bullet time that's on 3, but Artemis has to use that Quicksilver sash. They're tiding away here. Artemis is uncontested until now. Rika's on top of him. It looks like the fight's going in the favor of Cerberus, but it's on a knife's edge. Huge flawless duet there. Turns it all around. FTV come out ahead. Absolute heroics from Rika, the man. He doesn't want to be benched again, and FTV will get Elder and possibly a second series win.
And huge effort from Froggy to keep Police alive. Yado was on top of him, wasn't able to get the damage down. And of course, that huge triple stun from Rika, able to completely turn it around. It looked almost disastrous, but in the end, it's a 3-for-0. The Guardian Angel from Rika, despite going down so low HP, doesn't get popped. And now they have Elder. Now they're going to get Baron. They can just run it up. They should be able to just run it up mid lane at this point. see, Cerberus shouldn't be able to do anything.
No, definitely shouldn't.
That's and it was all set up for Cerberus. But here they engage and blow everything onto the Tahm Kench. They get like nothing done. And when Yado ends up coming in, he's just I'm sorry, it's actually Kuroko that chases him off police, but
that was
and then Rika.
That was such a huge play.
Just clutch on the flawless duet, able to just clean up a couple more kills, and Cerberus falls apart. Yado and LL are so far behind. Well, Yado not so much, but LL is very far behind. 11, 2, and 4 for Rika. He is putting his stamp on the game. He is making a statement. He does not want to go anywhere. He is staying in this league as best as he can.
Rika has seen the previous games and said, you know, guys, all these throws, I'm a bit sick of it. And he has stabbed a fork into the basketball. And no one is throwing this time, I think. Rika won't let it happen. The first inhibitor falls. Cerberus can't contest. They're against Elder and Baron. And this is possibly Cerberus just not making playoffs now. In fact, I think that is what it is.
I think so. If this has got to be a massive blow to their confidence, what are they going to do now? They have
Rika
to.
Rika throws an ult super wide. That wasn't great.
Yeah, he's allowed to. I'll allow it. Oh, and Elder
Drake gets it done. This is the last chance here for Cerberus. They've got to fight a 4v5. LL goes into that stopwatch. Can they find anything? Yado throws himself forward, but he goes gold. Rod OP going low. Will the Dragons start roaring? No, Elder Dragon's worn off. But FTV will take game 3 and will go up to 2-9. Cerberus, they're kicking themselves.
And Cerberus, after game 2, you looked like you were in such a... But no, it all goes wrong from the word go. Rika, massive outplay on the Irelia, gets 3 kills. Bot lane goes in the favor of Police and One Ground as well. It's so good. It's just, it all works out perfectly for them.
Absolutely. And
then
do we need to discuss MVP? Is there a discussion?
I think 12 kills gives that away pretty quick.
And solo winning like 3 team fights. Yeah, I think Rika is definitely MVP. Just a little bit. Shout out though. Froggy looked good. We questioned whether he was just super tilted, but I actually think the Galio with Ghost, I mean, I still don't know if it's as consistent as Flash. I'm not convinced yet. But I'm
not convinced.
It was taken for a reason. Whether that reason was good enough, not sure. But there was a reason. It wasn't just tilt play. Froggy proved that to us. TV.
Yeah, I'm not convinced on it, but worth. He did all right.
But he also played the Galio really well. Summoner spell doesn't irrelevant. He played a super good Galio.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was
that was a great series.
Rika has got to be sitting there saying, like, he's got to go to his coach and be like, "Am I going to be benched again, dude? Like, could have done this how many times now? I bet he's sure." Rika doesn't pop off like that often. That was probably the best performance of Rika I've ever seen by a mile. But he's been better than Victory the entire split. Subbing him out is a crime. Absolutely. Don't do it again, FTV. Yes, the rest of your games don't really matter, but you can still play spoiler, and you want to go into that promotion series as strong as possible. And if you go in like that, well, we'll see them next split. Go ahead, sorry.
And even playing like that, there is a chance that if they play like that, they may be able to do enough to drag themselves out of it. It's not likely.
It's hard. They've had a very bad split. It's possible.
I haven't fully looked at their schedules. If they're still up against like Evo and Who's the other one?
DBL.
DBL.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
possible.
they played them yesterday, so
Yeah, I think
probably
they've
not.
got like Garmin
But-
Flash or maybe Team Secret. I'm not sure. I'd have to look, but it is
Pretty
definitely
rough.
possible. It's not mathematically impossible for them to get out. It is possible. So that brings us to the end of Series 1. We will be saying goodbye to Vinny. Thank you so much for filling in. We always appreciate having you on call. You're always welcome to come, even if we don't strictly need you, because I love having you here. It's always good to have another Aussie. So, thanks for joining us, everyone, at our earlier start time. Sorry for catching everyone off guard. We told you as soon as we could, but unfortunately, it was all a little bit late notice. We'll be back in not too long, probably about half an hour for Series 2 today, where Mr. Yulwei will make his return. But we'll be seeing you guys. Have fun.